just to make a comment on what happened yesterday, particularly in our multinationals. So I've called you to, as a governor of Bomet, and being the host of a section of the multinationals, and being the governor of the people also who are affected, to register my displeasure with what we saw yesterday in Kericho. Because the same will also spill over to us in Bomet. And for the last several months, we have also witnessed a lot of bad blood between our residents, especially in Konoin, with the multinationals. This has been an issue that has been out there. We have been debating even in our FM stations, in social media, and even in forums that we have within the community. There are a few things that I want to underline. One, we have a legitimate claim on the issues that we have always been agitating for as a community. Secondly, it is also very important to understand that as much as we have this legitimate claim, there is also a process. There is also a civil way of addressing some of those challenges. It is important to understand that we are in a very difficult time as a country. Our economy is ailing, and our president is busy running all over the world, shopping for friends who can invest in our country, looking for partnership, and it is quite unfortunate. And I think part of the problem that we have is leadership. The way we talk to our young people, we are encouraging them to engage in violence, to resolve their issues in a very violent way. Yes, we have a legitimate claim, but is there a civil way of addressing some of those problems? That is the question that you should be asking ourselves. What happened in our tea estates, our multinationals, will not just affect the tea industry. It will spill over to all the sectors. It will affect all the investors in whatever area, in whatever sector. Because you remember that these investors come from some countries. They go through their embassies. I'm very sure, even yesterday evening, the president must have received calls from the respective embassies voicing their concern of what is happening in the investment of their own people. Yes, the land is ours, but the business belongs to other people. So if we have issues, can we sit down and resolve these issues in a civil way that will not brand us like we are criminals? Personally, as the governor of Bomet, there is a process that I am following. And I'm not a sellout to just agree on things. But I have an in-depth understanding of the environment where we are playing. And I would not encourage my people to engage in criminal activities, because what we witnessed yesterday, what we have been witnessing for the last several months is criminal. And I'm not party to that. I will not encourage my people to engage in criminal activities. I will follow your rights. In fact, one thing that we had agreed with the multinational was for a surveying of the land. Once we know this is the excess in terms of the land that was leased to this multinational, we were to sit down and agree what will happen with this excess. Because I think we have excess land. Secondly, there was this story about the 15% shares that was being sold to the community. If I remember very well, and the people standing behind me are my witness, I told the multinational that the James Windley, that now that you've given us 15%, leave it to us as a community. We will sit down with the leadership and the residents of Bomet and probably Kericho and make a decision about the same. The same thing will apply to the excess land. It will be up to us to decide on what we will do about that land. It should also be understood very well that what James Finlay did, they didn't send the land. The land belongs to us as a community. What they were selling is their business. So I don't want our leaders misleading the public and projecting some of us to look like we are selling the land. We are not. So please, our residents in Bomet and Kericho, let us not brand ourselves as criminals, because that is exactly what we are doing. From the press statement that was released today, we are even making matters worse, because the people who are employed in those multinationals are now being released to go home. So are we saving the situation, or we are making it even to be worse? Because when they scale down the activities, it means they are also scaling down on the number of people who are employed there. And by the way, this is a business. This is our economy. And if we want to create more room for employment, then all of us should find a way of making our economy to be vibrant. And that is why we always insist that kila mtu afanye kazi. Let us not look up to multinationals to employ us. Not all of us will be employed. Even my office will not employ everybody. But can we make our economy to be vibrant so that at least each and every one of us will get an opportunity where anaweza jishikilia to support themselves and their families.